with ME, and I am ME. And on this podcast, we do my two favorite things. I tell true and crazy stories about me and my life in Nacogdoches, Texas, and I drink beer. Lovely, hazy, juicy beer. Today, I am drinking medical grade haze IPA made by Community Beer in Dallas, Texas. I got it at Kroger. The can says that it is just what the doctor ordered. Let me try it again. It is. Get you some. Woohoo! Let's get started with our story. The cat ate her face. Part of a series called Murder and Crime in Nacogdoches, Texas. This is the story of Edward Otho Hagans and Elsie Marie Milner. Y'all, this story is about one of the worst murders that ever occurred in this town. The story made headlines across the state because it was so brutal. Back then, there was a very popular magazine called True Detective, and it did a whole feature story on it. It's the story of two sweet sisters and two sick lovers. Yeah. And it happened just down the street from where I live right now. Yeah. Right now, I ride my bike to work right past that murder scene every day. Nacogdoches, Texas is my hometown. It's the oldest town in Texas, maybe. We are 2 hours from Houston and 1,000,000 miles away from city life. No Target, no airport, no Apple Store.
What is the meaning of this?
You're either born in Nacogdoches, which makes you a bin, B-I-N, born in Nacogdoches, or you are not. And that makes you a nobody to some. In Nacogdoches, Texas, in 1961, the President of the United States was the very sexy John F. Kennedy. You could get a new car for about $4,300. Minimum wage was a pitiful $1.15. People like to watch a show called Gunsmoke. Anybody remember that? I had a big crush on the very charming, the very tall, the very commanding Marshall Dillon. I wanted to be his Miss Kitty. There are about 12,674 Nacogdoches citizens in 1961. Now, this is North Street in 1961. The main street of Nacogdoches. We are looking north here. Turn right at that White House, past the gas station, and a CVS is there now. Keep going west, and you are close to my house and this murder. On February 20th, 1961, Nacogdoches, Texas. It is raining hard, 2 inches in one day. Men are wearing their suit coats to the office anyway. Women are wearing their pantyhose to the grocery store anyway. Kids are riding their bikes anywhere and everywhere anyway. Parents do not know where their children are, and they are not worried. At 1105 Mound Street, in an August brick Tudor home, the sun is just going down. Zora Hagans is making a supper of biscuits, bacon, and jelly. She wears a no-nonsense black dress and an apron. Her real name is Missouri. She is 71. Zora Hagans' sister is there with her in the house on this day, visiting from Houston. Her name is Beulah Gibson. She is the more talkative of the two. Beulah wears a red frock and stockings. She is 68. As always, her hair is in this big, tight bun at the back of her head. That bun will matter quite a lot later. Beulah is tired from that long drive that day, even if they were riding in Zora's new 1960s Studebaker Lark. So Beulah heads to the back room to take off her shoes and watch some TV and let her sister do all the cooking. Zora is never tired. She made that drive to Houston and back in one day, and then immediately drove around town in that Studebaker Lark, collecting rent for her many rental properties. She collects in person only, cash only. Her purse is currently fat with it. These sisters are the Fonvilles. Their people are from just up the road in Center, Texas. They are smart and successful and rich. Their father was Washington Jefferson Fonville. Their nephew, Wardlow Lane, is a Texas senator. Their brother, R.H. Fonville, is a former mayor of Houston. Yeah, these people are somebody. Zora is a graduate from Stephen F. Austin State University, back at a time when not a lot of women graduated from university. And Beulah is the valedictorian of her high school class. Of 11 children, Zora and Beulah are the babies. They did not marry until they were in their 30s, and until then, they lived at home together with their mother. They have been so close for so long. Now they are retired teachers, widows, no children. They are alone. Y'all, those sisters are living for one thing only now: each other. Zora calls out, "Supper's ready, sister." And just then, there is a knock on the front door. In the dark, in the rain. And when they ignore it, the knocking gets louder. And when the knocking stops at the front door, it starts again at the back door. No one sees those two old ladies after that day for over a week. The Studebaker sits undriven in the garage. The papers lie in a yellowed heap on the drive. No one answers the phone. Senator Lane sends his wife from Center to Nacogdoches to see what in the world is going on with his dear aunts. The doors are locked. Mrs. Lane peers through a window. She can't quite make out what she is seeing in the dark house. It's an erratic movement of some sort, a swarm of something in the air. Bright green flecks of glittering in the sunlight. Whatever is that? Flies, y'all. It's green flies swimming absolutely everywhere. MC Roebuck, Nacogdoches Assistant Police Chief, then known as the Night Chief, has to break a window to get inside. He calls through into a bedroom. He walks down a long hall, and he enters a lavish, richly decorated living room where every inch is now covered in blood. Blood on the desk, blood on the wall, blood on the filing cabinet, blood on the chest of drawers, blood on the curtains, blood on the windowsill, blood on the inside and outside of the door. Center stage, on the floor, like two bodies. You could stick a finger 2 inches deep into the gash on the head of one. That one's scalp and face are clean eaten away. Y'all, some would say the pet cat ate that face. Yet, resolutely, stubbornly, on that skeleton of a face remains a pair of glasses. They are Zora Hagans. Sister Beulah lies next to her. She has also been beaten. That big tight bun of hers on the back of her head provided some buffer, but it did not save her life. Next to her lies some cloth and buttons from someone's shirt. Beulah was clawing and fighting so hard against someone that she literally tore their shirt from them. Zora Hagans and Beulah Gibson have been lying on the floor of that house with the flies and the blood and the cat for at least 8 days. 8 days. To remove those bodies, officers had to wear gas masks. The police put these gigantic fans in the house to blow out the stench, but some townies say that they could still smell the stench of death from across the street. On the kitchen table, still waiting to be eaten, are biscuits, bacon, and jelly. What in the world happened to those 2 old sweet ladies? When police lift up Zora's decomposing body, they will have their first clue. It's 3 pieces of plastic. They are fragments broken from a pistol grip. Y'all, someone had used that grip to beat those old ladies so hard that it literally fell apart. Nacogdoches, Texas is in full-blown panic. Kids are not allowed to go out and ride their bikes. Men sleep close to their shotguns. The killer is out there, and he could kill again. And all the police have to go on are the 3 little pieces of a pistol. 2 long weeks crawl by, and then suddenly, police find an abandoned car in a ditch. And this car includes somebody's laundry in there. And on a shirt in the laundry is someone's name. And that name is Hagans, as in Edward Otho Hagans. Well, who is he? Edward Otho Hagans is the nephew of Zora Hagans. Edward Otho Hagans' father, Otho, is the brother of Charles Hagans, Zora's deceased husband. He was no stranger to Zora. He lived in Houston where he worked at a car wash. But he would drive down to Nacogdoches sometimes, and he would go up to the big house there on Mount Street, and he would ask for money. Uncle Charles always gave it. Zora did not. If you saw Edward Otho Hagans, you would take a second look. He looks like he has been in a losing fight. Sagging face, ginormous ears, scars, a wiry, hunched over body. You would think, what happened to him? Eddie Hagans was a loved little boy and very much wanted. His parents were Zadie Mae and Otho Hagans of Port Arthur, Texas. Zadie goes by Sadie. They adopted Eddie, but they soon learned that their little boy was not normal. There were frequent episodes of convulsions. There was violence. The doctors felt that something had happened to Eddie at birth that led to brain impairment. He is not going to get any better, they said. He will need long-term care, they said. He might be dangerous to himself or others, they said. Sadie was not listening. She later says, "You know, it is hard for a mother to see any wrong in her child." Any mother could understand that. They took Eddie out of school for forever. He was 9. They drove him all over the big state of Texas from one doctor to the next to find a fix for their boy. But bad things just kept chipping away at the brain of Eddie Otho Hagans. He fell off a horse and had a concussion. He had a car wreck and was unconscious for 18 days. And then he had a motorcycle accident and was unconscious for 7 days. Eddie Hagans suffered quite a lot. But on February 20th, 1961, Eddie Hagans is a happy man. He is on his honeymoon. And y'all, He is in Nacogdoches, Texas. On February 10th, 1961, Eddie Hagans marries Elsie Marie Milner. He quits his job at the car wash in Houston to honeymoon full time. It's what she wants. Elsie Marie wants a lot of things. Elsie Marie Milner is a good-looking woman. Waves of brunette, glamorously arched eyebrows, painted smile. She is 37. Eddie is 27. And he has got it bad for Elsie Marie. And Elsie Marie has got it bad for wine. If Elsie Marie does not have her wine, she gets real mad. She gets the shakes. She has been pretty much living in a Houston bar. That is probably where they met. And now they are holed up in the Stone Fort Motel, doing their drinking in Nacogdoches, Texas. But on February 20th, the money runs out. So the wine runs out. No money, no wine, no love. Elsie Marie begs Eddie to do something. Do something, sugar. Mama needs her wine. She says, if you don't do something, I could lose the baby. The baby. Elsie Marie tells Eddie that she is carrying his baby. Well, if Elsie Marie needs wine for the sake of the baby, I better go find some money and get it, thinks Eddie Hagans with the brain impairment. Fast forward to March. The FBI wants to talk to Edward Otho Hagans. But the FBI cannot find Edward Otho Hagans or Elsie Marie Milner. Nope. They would never find them. Y'all, they would instead reveal themselves. Since they left Nacogdoches, the newlyweds have been all over the South. Along the way in Oklahoma, they rob a gas station. Elsie Marie pulls a .38 from her bra and holds the clerk hostage while Eddie takes the cash. A regular Bonnie and Clyde they are. By mid-March, these two are in the most unlikely place. Hollywood, California. Among all the celebrities comes now Eddie Otho Hagans and Elsie Marie Milner. Elsie Marie gets a job as a cocktail waitress on famed Sunset Boulevard. And then the lovers got into a big fight. Eddie could not stand the thought of all those men in that bar flirting with his Marie. Maybe she was flirting back. He will get her good. He will turn her in. So on March 17th, he calls the FBI. He says, I got you, that woman you're looking for. That Elsie Marie Milner, I got to rock you. She's dangerous, you know. She's got a gun. You just show up here on this street corner, and she'll be here in a minute. Edward Otho waits right there by something we used to call a payphone on a Hollywood street corner with the FBI across the street. And up pulls Elsie Marie in Zora's Studebaker Lark. And of course, they arrest them both. Elsie Marie is loud. She is combative. She is sick with the shakes from no booze. They force her into the FBI car. Eddie sits in another FBI car, his face buried in his hands. But Elsie Marie quickly composes herself. She sits in the car face forward with freshly penciled eyebrows and thick lipstick, ready for the cameras. Eddie has nothing on him but some smokes. But upon arrest, the FBI finds a .22 in Elsie's purse. As a matter of protocol, they ask back at headquarters if she has any other weapons on her. Well, aren't they surprised when Elsie Marie suddenly pulls from her bosom a loaded .38 Yep. She rode all the way to FBI headquarters with a loaded gun in her bra. That's some crazy poo-poo, y'all. Next time, we find out a big surprise about how those sisters died in Nacogdoches, Texas. It has a lot to do with why the cat ate her face. So, subscribe now and tap in to Untapped with ME.